Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our musical Vespers performed by our junior high students across the conference. This is the culmination of a 2-day music festival, and we're so glad that you're here online or in person. We're grateful that you'll get to experience the growth and the talents of your students that have joined us for this event. This is the Here I Am, Lord musical Vespers. And before we begin, I would like to ask that you bow your heads for prayer. Dear God in heaven, we thank you for this beautiful day with the sunshiny weather, and this opportunity to come together and to praise you together and to witness the talents that you've given to these students, Lord, and their directors. And we praise you that we can be here to appreciate that gift. Bless our concert, I pray, in your name. Amen. Also, before we actually begin our first song, I want to go ahead and introduce both of our clinicians. First of all, I will start with our choral clinician, though he will be coming up a little bit later in the program. Dr. John Carter is in his 5th year at Portland Adventist Academy, where he directs the band, 2 choirs, the handbell and string ensembles, and teaches drama, publications, and world history classes. He's a very busy man. Yes, he is. In addition to that, Dr. Carter is the music director of the Sunnyside Brass Ensemble and the Lake Oswego Millennium Concert Band. This spring, he'll be guest conducting the Sunnyside Symphony and the Salem Philharmonic Orchestra. Prior to PAA, Dr. Carter served as director of bands at Loma Linda Academy, director of orchestral studies at La Sierra University, and music director at Milo Adventist Academy. Dr. Carter has also directed the Oregon Pro Arte Chamber Orchestra, the Jewish Community Orchestra of Portland, and Lewis and Clark College Orchestra, and was adjunct faculty at Marylhurst University. Dr. Carter received his BA in music from La Sierra University and his master's and doctoral degrees in orchestral conducting from UCLA. He lives in West Lynn with his wife, Tiffany, 4 sons, and 2 pets, and we are so privileged to have him here. I'll ask him to stand while you give a round of applause, please. I was telling the students earlier, I believe it was yesterday, that we're very blessed to really have famous, amazing clinicians for this event. And so I will now introduce our handbell clinician. Matthew Compton, a native of Colorado Springs, has been composing, arranging, and conducting music for handbells since 2007 when he was in 8th grade. He had his first composition published at the age of 15, making him one of the youngest published handbell composers. Matthew graduated from Concordia University, Wisconsin, with a Bachelor of Arts degree in music with an emphasis in composition and conducting. Based out of Vancouver, Washington now, he is the music director of the Bells of the Cascades in Portland, Oregon, and director of music ministries at Salmon Creek Church in Vancouver. In addition to being a guest clinician at the Handbell Festival, at many handbell festivals actually across the country, his music is frequently used at local and national handbell festivals, like the Bayview Week of Handbells and Distinctively Bronze East and West. He has been the recipient of the Donald E. Allard Composition Award, and I probably didn't pronounce that correctly, but it's in your program. In his limited spare time, Mr. Compton can occasionally be found streaming a variety of games and music performances, going hiking, or enjoying any number of movies, anime, or TV shows. And I need to say, before we clap for him, that the very first number that will be performed was composed by our very own Matthew Compton. Let's give him a round of applause as he stands to lead our group.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Matthew Compton, as Kim said, and it has been my absolute pleasure to be the HEMA clinician for this year. The first piece was actually composed by Brenda Austin, who is a great friend of mine from Detroit. She's from the Detroit, Michigan area, Eaton Rapids, Michigan. She writes a lot of just really lively, enjoyable music, and that one is not unlike that. The next piece you're going to hear is one of my arrangements, and it is of the very familiar hymn, Be Thou My Vision. And I would like to share with you just a little bit of the text. I think it ties nicely into this theme of Here I Am, Lord, because without some guidance from something, it is hard to have that conviction in saying, I am here. And so I'll read you just a little bit of the text of Be Thou My Vision. Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart, not be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou be my best thought, by day or by night, waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. It's a very well-known hymn. It's an Irish hymn, but it translates really nicely to the instrument, and the students have just been doing a wonderful job on the phrasing and things like that. And so I hope you enjoy Be Thou My Vision. Another one of my wonderful friends, Alex Giebert, composed this next piece, and it's simply titled Gratitude. I think one of the simplest but most effective things that we can say as people is thank you. And I think it's sometimes a thing that we forget, that just a thank you can change someone's day. So much of the time we get so focused on our own lives and our own worlds that we tend to forget the simplest actions make the biggest impacts. And so it's been really wonderful to see all of these students interact with each other, myself and John and other people here, and just the slightest thank you just makes your day. And so I invite you to consider just how you can make an impact on someone's life, whether it's the person next to you, your best friend, a family member, your barista at a Dutch Bros or Starbucks, whatever it might be, something simple as a thank you and what that might mean. So I hope you enjoy Alex Giebert's Gratitude. One of the joys of making music is to see how far you can stretch your ensembles. And yesterday we came in the morning and immediately I got incredible musical musicians right away. My job was easy the last couple days to just enjoy making music together. That piece has so much that we can do dynamically, and they do it so wonderfully. The other challenge of being a musician and an educator is when you go, oh no, we have more time because they're so good. So as we get towards the end of the day yesterday, I was like, well, tomorrow can be really boring, really fast if we just do those 3 pieces. So I went home and wrote them a piece last night. We learned it this morning, and we're going to play it for you now. This piece is called Scherzo, and a scherzo is a light-hearted piece, and this piece almost has sort of a mischievous tone to it, which we all know children are occasionally mischievous. But I think it reflects the energy that youth have, and so it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be the director, but the kids, they just immediately learned the piece so fast, and so it's been a real honor. So I hope you enjoy this world premiere of a piece that was written less than 24 hours ago, learned this morning, and presented to you now.
Well, what a treat that was to be able to listen to. I have been secretly geeking out over here saying, I'm sitting next to Matthew Compton. This is pretty amazing. So those of you in the musical world, I can tell you what a big deal this is to have Matthew Compton with us. I Started a handbell ensemble 5 years ago at Portland Adventist Academy. We just finished fundraising. We got 5 octaves. So I've been learning and researching and getting to know it. My mentor, Mr. James Walters, he's the handbell director at Redlands Adventist Academy, does the big festivals down there in Southern California. And I was calling him, getting some ideas for music, and he was telling me all these big composers and all these pieces you should do. And he's like, there's this one composer, Matthew Compton. He's like the next big thing in the handbell world. You should get to know his pieces. And sure enough, every year we've been doing Matthew Compton's music. The favorites of the year tend to be Matthew's. And so when I found out that he was going to be the clinician here, we got to work with him. This is really amazing. So thank you, Matthew, for being here and being part of this. And also just advancing the field of handbell music, especially in this sacred setting. So thank you for everything you do. We're going to transition here to our choir. So as they're walking up, I'm going to introduce our first piece. It's Down in the Valley to Pray. Some of you may know this as Down to the River to Pray. This is one of my all-time favorite choral pieces, spirituals. Some of you heard I taught at Milo Adventist Academy a little while back. If you've ever been there, there's a beautiful bridge over the South Umpqua River. And we ended up doing several baptisms down there, and I had the choir learn Down to the River to Pray. And we used to walk down from the church singing this towards the river, and we'd baptize there in the river, and it was a beautiful thing. I've done this every couple of years ever since. It's a choir and audience favorite. So we hope you enjoy Down to the River to Pray. There are 2 solos in this, and we did some tryouts for the solos yesterday, and the 2 winners are both from Meadowglade, Noah Wade and Samuel Segabart. So Noah and Samuel, wave so we know who you are, and congratulations. And we had an accompanist lined up. She had an illness in the family. We had to do a last-minute rescheduling. So on very short notice, Mrs. Katrina Koch from Livingstone has agreed to accompany us. So thank you not only for now, but all the accompanying these last 2 days. Okay, Down in the Valley to Pray.
As I went down in the valley to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear that starry crown, good Lord, show me the way.
Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the valley to pray. Oh, down in the valley to pray.
that good old way? And who shall wear that starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
Thank you. Our second piece is titled Sanctuary. Sanctuary means a great deal to those of us at Portland Adventist Academy because in our freshman Bible class, Pastor Stephen Lindquist teaches this to all of our freshmen. And I discovered that my first year, and I thought, oh, we should make that part of our tour music. And so we have had a tendency at the end of our tours to all get together, hold hands around usually it's a junior high group or elementary chapel we're singing with, and we sing Sanctuary. So if you have anybody who has been to PAA or going to PAA, they will know this piece very well by the time they're done. Sanctuary, Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. We hope you enjoy.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary created as a sacred dwelling of the Most High God. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary
Our third piece is Be the Change, adapted by Laura Farnell. And this actually has quite a few inspirational it takes inspiration from quite a few areas. This mashes together English and Swahili. It also mashes together text from Matthew 5:15 and Martin Luther King Jr. It is about being the change and shining your light. I think you'll recognize a lot of these words as they come along. Be the change you want to see in the world, and this little light of mine will come in particular. So on this piece, we had two percussionists, and we asked around a little bit, and we didn't have any takers. So I brought the djembe and the shaker yesterday morning, kind of hoping we would have some students pick it up. And we have these two students who said, oh, well, maybe. I haven't really done it before, but let me try. Nailed it the first time through. Very, very talented percussionists over here. So thank you to Avery and Colton for picking up percussion on Be the Change. Thank you.
our responsibility to say, "Here I am, Lord, send me." So we're asked, who shall I send? We are that person to send. So I think as your students and your children grow up, it is our responsibility support others no matter what is going on through life, and to be understanding, have compassion, and share a message of love. And so thank you all for being here. Thank you to the Oregon Conference for inviting John and myself to be the clinicians. And this is my favorite thing to do, is music, to make music with other people. And so, and thank you all, parents and audience, for bringing your kids to rehearsals early or late or whenever it might be, and just being supportive people that just love music as much as we all do. Thank you for coming this afternoon, and we'll hopefully see you at the next one.
I also want to acknowledge two groups of people. First of all, the teachers who really did the work of preparing these students. It's a hard job. Thank you. Let's stand with you, our teachers, and help. Thank you so much. It's really a labor of love, and I know how much hard work it is to get to this point, and we couldn't have done this without you, so thank you so much. Also, we have two soloists on this, Colton Nelson from Meadowglade, CJ over there, and Liam Sweeney from Hoodview Academy, so thank you.
Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord?
Thank you again, everyone, for coming. And our clinicians here kind of jumped ahead with some thank yous that I also want to share. I'll go through a quick list of thank yous. It takes a lot of individuals to put this together, and I'll just briefly mention several. First of all, with setup, we appreciate Caleb, Jaron, Brandon, and Elias for helping us get things arranged here. Jonathan and Mitchell, our PA team, and also our live stream team for putting that together for us. We want to thank the PAA seniors for making our boxed lunches for today, and our hot lunch lady, Judy, and the education team for helping serve hot lunch yesterday. Also, our building manager for the Holden Center has been invaluable to us these last 2 days. That's Athena. We're so thankful for her. And we already did thank our music teachers, but I would like to specifically thank the music teachers that led sectionals during the last 2 days. Lots of extra practice time was able to be attained that way, and that is Antonio Pereira, Megan Arroco, and Catherine Schaefer. They're in the back. Let's have a round of applause for all of those people. And then we need to just really acknowledge once again how very blessed we are to have our clinicians, our directors for this time. And the kids were able to create some posters that we can send home with you. They signed. And so first, what a privilege, Mr. Compton. We would like to appreciate you. Come on forward and grab your poster. Thank you. And also, of course, our own Dr. John Carter. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much. Here's your card. One final thank you. As I mentioned a moment ago, it just takes a lot of people, a lot of work to put together this event. It's such an honor and a privilege that we can help sponsor that from the Oregon Conference Education Department. But truly, the person who did all the work, really all the heavy lifting and the legwork, except for these last 2 days, I pitched in a little bit, is one of our own music teachers from Livingston, and that is Mrs. Katrina Koch. She deserved that not only for all of the effort to help plan and coordinate this event, working with the other music teachers and so forth, but as was mentioned, our pianist that was originally lined up to accompany all of the rehearsals as well as this actual performance had sick children and wasn't able to do it at virtually the last minute, and Katrina took over that spot. So one more round of applause. We cannot thank you enough. And I am so privileged again to be involved in this. It was a lot of fun for me as a former junior high teacher to hang out with your kids these last couple of days and do some fun activities with them and just see them grow and share their talents. We will invite now our VP for Education, Brandon O'Neill, to come and offer our closing prayer. Thank you so much.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity. We can come together and see your amazing children perform and worship you, Lord. Thank you so much for the opportunity we have to work with these kids and to see these kids grow up and to see these kids do amazing things. In your name, amen.
Amen. All right, we would love a little bit of help as you're preparing to exit.